It is a parturition. In parturition, there is a expulsion of fully formed. What is a parturition? That is expulsion of fully formed fetus from uterus after completion of gestation period, which is 9 months or roughly it is a 20 days. It is a neuroendocrine mechanism. So nervous system and some endocrine tissues are important in this particular mechanism. So in the parturition, first there is a fetal ejection factor which is released from fetus and placenta. Remember this, fetal ejection factor released from fetus and placenta. This fetal ejection factor reaches to the maternal blood and there is a mild uterine contraction. So this mild uterine contraction, which is because of the fetal ejection factor, is called as a fetal ejection reflex. Remember, fetal ejection factor, which is released from fetus and placenta, which leads to the fetal ejection reflex. Fetal ejection reflex release the oxytocin from the pituitary gland, and that gives a strong uterine contraction. So cervix is dilated and there is an expulsion of fetus. Along with this, there is an enzyme relaxin, which is also very important in this process, which helps to dilate the cervix as well. So in parturition, there are 3 phases. There is all these things are divided into 3 phases. There is a dilation phase. So the first is a dilation phase. So the first phase, that is a dilation phase. Second phase is a expulsion stage. Second is a expulsion stage. And the third is after birth. The third is after birth. So expulsion, in the dilation phase, all this hormonal mechanism will be involved. Expulsion, the fetus is expelled out. And after birth, then the placenta, which is a deciduate placenta, is lost after the birth. So this process occurs. So this after process occurs within 10 to 15 minutes. So this requires 10 to 45 minutes basically. This requires 20 to 60 minutes. Expulsion is 20 to 60 minutes. And this is the initial phase, which is a dilation phase. So in the 3 stages, this parturition is happening. Okay. Now, before that, we also should know what are the stages or what happens in the first trimester. So these are the first trimester. What is happening? See, first trimester, it is a fertilization to 12th week is a first trimester. First 2 to 4 week, the developing embryo receives a nutrient from endometrium. This first trimester is a main period of organogenesis. Major structure which are formed, but these are in the rudimentary forms. The embryo now here is turning into fetus, which is 3 centimeters long. Arms, hands, finger, feet, toes, which are formed, but these are in the rudimentary. And our rudimentary is very little developed. CNS started forming, working of excretory and circulatory system. There is a high level of progesterone, and which leads to morning sickness. Now the second trimester, that is from 13 to 26 week, is a second trimester. So the fetus is now growing rapidly here. Fetus is very active during this phase and the movement of the fetus can be felt. So this is 30 centimeter, is growing into 30 centimeter. Development of brain is beginning into this particular period. So brain start developing here. SCG level is, hormone level stabilizes as SCG is little decline. Corpus luteum deteriorate here. Corpus luteum is regressing. Placenta completely take over the production of progesterone. So now here the placenta is formed. So corpus luteum जो initially progesterone बनाता था, now placenta is started forming this progesterone. Okay. So these are the changes in the second trimester. Head has fine hair, eyebrows and eyelashes appears, pinny are distinct, matlab ears started appearing, and the baby reaches half the size of a newborn during this second trimester. And then it is a third trimester. So in the third trimester, the fetus is growing almost about 2 to 4 kg in weight and 50 centimeter in length. Eyes are open. There is a gain in body weight as the fetus grows. Uterus expands and mother's abdominal organ become compressed and displaced, leading to frequent urination, digestive blockages. At the end of third trimester, fetus is fully developed and is ready for the delivery, which is a parturition. After parturition, so these are the parturition, which we have already discussed. So parturition is this is a neuroendocrine mechanism, parturition, and the hormone oxytocin, which is called as a delivery or parturition hormone, is important in this particular situation, right? So fully developed fetus and placenta. So there is a fetal ejection reflex. Fetal ejection reflex stimulate posterior pituitary to release oxytocin. There is a strong uterine contraction and there is a expulsion. After parturition, there is a lactation. Lactation again is a neuroendocrine mechanism. So for the postnatal, for the newborn baby which is born now, so this is unique to mammals. So lactation is a production of mother's milk. So lactation basically is involving two phases. So first is a milk secretion. The first phase is a milk secretion. In the milk secretion, prolactin, which stimulate the alveoli of mammary gland. Prolactin is stimulating alveoli of mammary gland to secrete the milk. Prolactin secretion stimulated when estrogen and progesterone level are less. Estrogen and progesterone levels are less, then the prolactin is secreted. So prolactin, anterior lobe of pituitary gland is secreting this prolactin, and the process is known as a lactogenesis. Lactogenesis is a production of milk. And then there is a milk ejection. So second phase is a milk ejection. So in the milk ejection, oxytocin brings the contraction of, so again here the oxytocin is playing an important role. So it helps in the contraction of the muscles surrounding the mammary gland. And the first milk, this is very, very important. First milk is a colostrum. And colostrum, which is slight yellow in color, that is the first milk secreted, and this is rich in immunoglobulin A. So this immunoglobulin A, which gives an initial protection to the baby. So there are two immunoglobulin you must remember here. The one immunoglobulin IgG, which is crossing the placenta and protecting the newborn baby initially for 3 months, and colostrum, which is the first milk secreted after the parturition, which is rich in IgA, so that gives a local protection to the baby. So further, the suckling action of the baby releases more and more milk continuously. So what is the composition of this milk? It is, mother's milk is rich with fat. It is having the protein casein, then lactose, okay, then certain minerals and vitamin C are the important component of this mother's milk. I hope with this we have completed the topic. Okay.